It's vaporized. We have to get current. We got to dream a new dream. We got to dream a new vision for America, because the old one ain't cutting it. It's gone. Dead. If we don't re-inhabit it, it's gone forever. It's up to us. We can't do it alone. None of us can do it alone. We can do what we can alone, but we need each other. We need to be in community. And that doesn't mean you have to be communal or live all together in the same house. But admittedly, we're all individuals. Most of us have families and or tribes or communities, extended family, friends, cities and places we live in, counties and other jurisdictions thereon. So we've got to completely restructure this thing from the ground up. Restoring a sound monetary system. And so what would be the first step? Well, first step is the most obvious. We already have gold and silver around, so we can use metal. We can use anything that's a tangible commodity. We can use barter, we can use exchange. We can create community currency systems. There's 2,500 of them across the United States of America. Community currency systems. If the feds can create paper and issue money out of thin air, you can go down to Kinko's and create a community currency and issue money or hours or something that represents an exchange out of thin air and just pay the printing costs. Pretty ingenious. It really isn't much different than the thing we have, except the community can control it. And during the Great Depression, most people aren't aware of, that Americans, there wasn't any money moving around either. It was all pretty stagnant. There were 2,500 community currency systems in America during the Great Depression. You can go find them in an encyclopedia of community currencies. Each one, they designed their own money, printed them, whatever they did back then. Probably hand typeset them on a lithograph or something like that. Hand type or something. But the ingenious thing now with the internet is that we can restore a monetary system by using a multiple commodity-backed index of some form, which means that anything that has tangible value, including your hour of service or your bushel of apples, is a monetary system. If you really think about it, everything that you could barter is part of a monetary system. Anything you could trade, anything you can produce that has value, you can exchange into the economic system. So what's the only thing missing in this equation are producers. Americans are never referred to as producers. They're always referred to as consumers and taxpayers. That's your identity. That's what they think of you. You know, you're a consumer. Well, we're filling our task pretty well. Look around. We're doing a great job of consuming and a great job of spending and a great job of paying our taxes, and we keep funding it. We keep funding it. We keep sending them the money. Well, if we had money, we'd be sending it to them. If the money was real, we're sending them a piece of paper or something that represents a piece of paper. So the only thing missing in a sound monetary system is that we have not been engaged in the free enterprise, which is our right. Most people. In 1913, 90% of the American people worked for themselves. 10% worked for companies. Today, 90% of the people work for corporations and 10% work for themselves. Completely flipped upside down. And worse is that by the time you get through 2 graduate schools and a couple of PhDs, you don't have any common sense left to be able to go out and create your own business and survive in the world. You have been completely dumbed down to the lowest common denominator. You know, you can't lick a stamp. You don't know how to balance a checkbook. You know, start a business. No, how are you going to do that? Pardon all of you college graduates out there. I got out 3rd year. I've now had enough. That was back in 1973. So, producers. Become a producer in the system. If you want a sound economic system, if you're sovereign, you don't want to work for somebody else. If you can all help it. If you do, you do. No big deal. If you have to, you have to. But wean yourself off of that job just over broke. That's why they call it a job. Just over broke. Just over broke. Remember that. So if you can, if you have the opportunity, you got the skills, you got the talent, you got some ability or people you can work with, organize business and free enterprise, and then engage in no third-party reporting, and you can have your own economic order. The only reason the tax man's knocking is because you keep putting your money in the bank. I think I'll join the Occupy Wall Street people. Take all your money out of the bank, but don't put it in a credit union, just take it out of the bank. Don't engage the banks, if at all possible. Go back to the cash economy. Go back to private transaction. Go back to it between me and you, really, when it comes right down to it. And, you know, you got something, I got something, let's trade something, let's exchange something. We're not poor or starving here in America because there's a lack of stuff, because there's a lack of ways, creative ways, that we can move the stuff around without engaging money. So we think, oh, I don't have any money, I'm poor, I can't do anything. Yes, you can. You can produce something. You produce something, go sell the apple on the corner, like they did in the Great Depression, if you have to, and get your 25 cents or whatever. Everybody has something they can produce and exchange into the economy to make them more economically sovereign and make us all sovereign in terms of those transactions. It's a dangerous proposition to even be around the edge of advocating maybe not filing or paying taxes. It's a very dangerous place to be speaking, because it is stepping on the toes of that power structure to advocate such a position, and they will come at you with full force when you advocate that position and do their best to annihilate you. Because if Americans truly want freedom, and if Americans truly want their country back, the only political power you have is the withholding of tax money. Because we all know voting doesn't make any difference. But I'll tell you what does make a difference. Not paying those taxes. Or just making your income privately, being off the grid, economically speaking.
I haven't filed since 1973. I just want to say that so people can...
Good for you.
And I'll declare it in front of God and everybody.
Give her a trophy. By 2000, we had raised a movement through all the educational process of 63 million non-filers in America.
Wow. 63 million?
63 million by the IRS's own statistic. That by the year 2000. And then the sovereignty movement got attacked full force. All the leaders. We attacked everybody. From home, prison, economic genocide for the rest. And so what we're seeing today is actually somewhat of the remains of what was at its peak in 2000. So those who've come on a little bit later in the game here, you're seeing another wind. By the way, if you look back historically over the decades, every one in the decade is the start of something new. Every 2001, 2011, 1991, 1981 is the beginning of something new. It almost seems like a cycle, this decade cycle. And then things change, things happen. So money, we don't have a money system, I already said that. So what is it instead? Well, it's a control system. Money is control. Leo Tolstoy said it best. Money is a new form of slavery, different from the old only, and that there's no direct personal relationship between the master and the slave. Money is a new form of slavery, different from the old only, and that there's no direct personal relationship between the master and the slave. So if you ever feel like money is controlling you, or you are in control of money, I don't know. Are you in control of money, or is money in control of you? More often than not, money is in control of you, because it informs so many of our decisions about where to go, what to be, where to eat, where we can live, where to school. All these decisions are informed by money. So it's almost like money has been planted somewhere deep in the human psyche as a replacement for the Creator, for the infinite source of abundance and intelligence and everything else, for God. It's the new God, right? Money as God, a God substitute.
Blank Fine said, "I'm doing God's work," and somebody says, "Is that, he must mean the Federal Reserve?"
He probably meant it, yes. So, to restore the sound monetary system, we have to re-examine our position with regards to taxes and withholding. And one last thing I'll say,